Welcome back to Channel 9's Wide World of Sports. A glorious afternoon, GIO Stadium in Canberra. We've seen some Bulldog fans travel down the highway and it's a huge game for them. Just one win in 6 matches, a very unfamiliar statistic for this side that prides themselves on success. And there's Big Sam Cassiano, one of the biggest packs we've seen in a long, long time, as Canberra, the home side, the giant killers, well represented in the crowd today. They love their team when they're doing well, and Ricky Stewart, an outstanding job in 2015, and it's a huge game for them, of course. They sit just outside the 8, and with a lot of the other teams getting byes this weekend, they don't want to lose that momentum. There's Blake Austin, huge game in the City Country, scored 3 tries, and a number of players on the verge of State of Origin, but they don't have representation this year. Guys like Vaughan and Jack White, who's not there today, all on the cusp of State of Origin. It's the Dogs and the Raiders. Great to be back in the nation's capital, and we are underway through the boot of Marcus Mbai. So many wonderful teams have played here over the years. Hodgson. And there is Vaughan. Trent Barrett mentioned at a function last night, he coached the countryside, he said this guy couldn't be far away from State of Origin representation, and he's done a great job for Canberra this year. Local junior. Here's Nuasala, test player for New Zealand. Four players for the Bulldogs with State of Origin representation, as we see the last tackle and a little chipping kick from Cornish, and he'll find Touch, a young kid from the Lilac City of Goulburn, Phil.
Yeah, nice little pipe opener there for the Raiders, working the ball away from their own end of the field, finding Touch, and a stroll down to the scrum before they have to start their defensive work. Absolutely perfect rugby league conditions here. Sunday afternoon footy. They love it down here in the Canberra area. No wind, it's nice and cool, field is dry. This should be a beauty.
Absolutely beautiful playing surface, and we'll see a big run from Eastwood. Holden Cup earlier on, the Raiders, it was a narrow one, 32-28. They got out of jail in the end. The Raiders 32-28 over the Bulldogs.
I think they scored on the last play of the game.
Yep, they did.
The score seesawed all the way through. And the home side prevailed.
Here's Mbai, nice ball. And he'll be nervous today. Tyrone Phillips, the La Perouse Panther, on debut. They kept that pretty quiet. I think he's known for a few days, but his first game in the NRL today.
La Perouse boys don't get nervous, Timmy.
No, of course they don't. We've seen Alex Johnson make his debut up in Brisbane for South Sydney, and he was brilliant on debut last year. All the boys have tipped the Bulldogs to win today. As we see the short side, and Reynolds comes in. Still alive through Pritchard. And he's over. They'll go upstairs, but
double knock on. Check for a double knock on. The knees, hey, so I'm going to
the ball was bobbling around there for a moment, and that's what Ashley Klein wants to check on.
Just check for a knock on there.
Well, that's interesting, because I thought Ashley Klein, the main referee, said, I'm going to go try. Henry Perinara has called look out for double knock on. They'd already ruled play on with this. All right, so if the play had got tackled a yard out, we wouldn't be looking at it. Reynolds goes back inside. Well, it doesn't go off anyone. It's knee to knee and then picked up by Pritchard. That's play on. The original call was right. And it's young Lyshas is able to burrow his way in and get the ball down. I don't think there's any hands involved here at all, unless my old eyes are deceiving me. Lyshas gets down low, doesn't get held up, and he's able to scurry in, and some really enterprising play by the Bulldogs in that opening set of 6 with the ball. Good ball movement to the left, some inside passes. Reynolds very active, taking the line on. They're not worried about the double knock on now. It's just whether or not Lyshas gets the ball down, and I'm sure he does. Well, there we go back again. Bang, off the hip, off the knee, What are we looking at? There's nothing wrong.
They can't take that away from him. Your youthful eyes, 20/20 vision, Gus. It's going to be 4-0 in just a tick. And a try to Michael Leisha in the opening minutes here in Canberra. Just 2.5 minutes gone.
Okay. Yeah,
huge one here.
Yeah.
Decision pending. Yep, there it is. Comes in, strikes it. Mbai doing the kicking. It's 6-0. The Bulldogs leading the Raiders, Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, we talked about a pre-game Josh Reynolds who missed out on State of Origin select, and he'll be relieved that the speculation is now over. And you could see in that first set of 6, he's going looking for the ball. First set of 6 is any indication he's in for a big day.
Yeah, what was different about Josh Reynolds those first 2 sets? He got the ball off the first receiver. Oh, Sisawanga here is offside.
Oh, not even close.
Go,
Ash, go to the 10.
Schoolboy error here. But Josh Reynolds got the ball flat on the advantage line. The way the Bulldogs have played the last couple of years, he usually gets the ball out the back from a front rower. Playing more today like a traditional halfback. It's good to see.
Coach Killer, that one, Gus.
Yeah, the Raiders penalised for being in front of the kicker from the kickoff, right in front of the referee. And the Bulldogs are back on the attack. This could be a great start if they get across the line here.
Big charge from Sam as Leisha pops the ball to Pritchard. It is 6-0. 4 and a bit minutes gone at GIO Stadium in Canberra. The Dogs 4 players with Origin representation. The Raiders with none. There's Tony Williams. Nice ball from Williams to Curtis Rona. And there's another one for the Bulldogs. It is 10-0.
Well, here's some really submissive defence here from the Raiders, who backed away from this play, but nicely set up by the Bulldogs. It's a run from the short side to the open side to collect a pass that gets all the Raiders looking in but sitting backwards. You watch the Raiders will go up and stop. See how they stopped? And now they start to retreat and back away. Isuzu D-Max replay, and this just comes from fast running and Raiders players backing away near their own try line. Nice work by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I love this play where a centre gets across field, makes the outside defenders nervous, and perfect timing here. And Curtis Rona has been playing on the wing, scoring a bag full of tries today in the centres. Love to see a bit more of that early ball. Look at the size of him. Big and athletic and strong. Pumped up, the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's very unlike the Raiders' outside backs. Normally they're an up and in defensive team. Ricky Stewart likes his teams to be aggressive. And they're not really good when they back away and slide like that. And they were too close to their own try line to be sliding against the likes of Tony Williams and Curtis Rona, who were moving at pace. And I think it was the way they set up the early part of the play with the first playmaker coming from the short side. It just showed a little bit of a different look. And now Mbai for the perfect start for the Dogs.
Yeah, just a couple of metres in from touch. And this will take it to 12. We're not even 6 minutes old. He strikes it, just wills it over. It is 12-0. Dogs leading Raiders. GIO Stadium in Canberra.
Well, here's the last kick off, and you'll see before the ball is kicked, they got, oh, look at
Sisawanga there.
Sisawanga, and the referee is only 10 metres away. You can see that he's way in front of the kicker. In fact, by the time he kicked it, a few Raiders were in front. They're a bit deeper this time, and we get underway.
And Ricky Stewart is down on the sideline. He's standing up, and if you could put a heart monitor on him when that happened, it'd be through the roof.
Well, the challenge now for the Raiders, and normally what you try to teach the team is if they get behind on the scoreboard like this early, 12-0 or 18-0, you've really got to chase it with your defence. The Raiders are a different sort of team now. They might try and chase this with their attack, and that could lead to more errors and more problems. So it'll be very interesting to see the way the Raiders go about this. At the moment, it's all Bulldogs. Yeah, lovely ball there from Leisha. Almost opened up. Last tackle, Bulldogs. They lead 12-0. Back to Reynolds, and he does look like he
is a man without pressure this afternoon in Canberra. Taken nicely there by Jordan Rapana, who's moved back to fullback. Lee off the wing, and they are one of the best attacking sides in the competition. Ricky mentioned in that pre-match interview about Blake Austin. He was probably a butterfly wing away from being named somewhere in that Origin squad. Outstanding in the City Country game, and he's really found a home for himself here in the nation's capital. No Papali, of course, played a big part in the last couple of Origin series for Queensland. Last tackle, Canberra, 40 out. And there is Austin. He lets the ball go and he makes a real mess of it. Blake Austin under pressure, and great defence from Mbai. Huge moment there for the Bulldogs and the Raiders.
It was a very sloppy end of the set of six, wasn't it? Just not concentrating on the job at hand, and it's all one-way traffic at the moment. Crikey.
Saw a run there from Tim Laffey back after that knee problem. He spent 5 weeks away, and a timely return for him as we see Reynolds to Cassiano. Floats a nice one to Thompson. He comes inside. If he pulled down, 10 out. There's Reynolds. He's over Reynolds. There's the third for the match for the Bulldogs. It's a little bit feisty.
Easy. Okay, tackle 5, Chids. Bit of a try. Just confirm the grounding.
Well, Andrew, I think it's quite obvious that the Bulldogs have changed their style today. They have got away from the forward-dominated play. They've got away from trying to replicate what James Graham does for them, and said to the two halves, get out there and dominate the play.
Well, that was play for play there from Reynolds as he gets the ball down. Went to the right with a bit of a trick shot to get Sam Cassiano away on the right, then doubled up again. As the video ref decision comes through, it's a try. Great play, Reynolds.
Good, Ash? Yeah, good. We'll go another set. Expect some numbers in, so... Yep.
No, if you're just joining us, that is the score, 16-0, and it's not 10 minutes old. The Bulldogs have poured down the freeway, and they have started with all the momentum, outstanding early, and Marcus Mbai to take it out to 18-zip. Dogs over the Raiders, shell-shocked at the moment, the Canberra side. Strikes it. It's 3 from 3, 18-0.
You can see a difference in the play here from Josh Reynolds. He's up on the advantage line. The difference, the way he's been playing all year, is he's playing straighter. See, comes down the right and has a shot on him there. But then he gets up on the advantage line and he gets the ball and he's going straight the defensive line, which opens up his running game. The last couple of years he's been getting the ball out the back off the forwards, heading across field. Once he's heading that way, he's only got one way to run. When he gets the ball running straight the advantage line, he can come back off his left foot or accelerate off his right foot. Gives him so many more options.
Yeah, and I think for the Raiders, Andrew, and it's what we pretty much said in the pre-match, this team sometimes can come to a game and all they're thinking about is their attack and how many points they're going to score. And they leave the defensive mindset in the dressing room, and they've been blown away with it early.
Well, Raiders fans, I still think they're a chance. They're a team who can, if they get the defence right, as you said, Gus, they can score points and score them in a hurry. Just got to get through some sets defensively and then build a bit of pressure with the ball. I think points can come.
Well, they did trail the West Tigers, I think, 22-0 there at one stage of a match at Leichhardt that they go home and win, so they won't be giving up.
It finds the touchline, and standing start for the Bulldogs. Moses Mbai has kicked 3 from 3. Josh Reynolds in cracking form, and this big forward pack just rolling down the middle for Canterbury.
They haven't been asked to do much defence yet, the Bulldogs. That'll be the key for them. But 11 and a half minutes in, and you lead 18-0. You're on a roll. Wow, this is an interesting afternoon now.
So here they are, Canberra. They've got plenty of work to do. 18-0. And Ricky on the sideline. Not much you can do right at the moment.
Well, the only thing about getting down 18-0 after 10 minutes is you've got a long time to get it back. You know, the game really hasn't started yet from Canberra's perspective, so they've got to get themselves into the contest.
One thing about Canterbury and the history of this Canterbury club, they're not used to losing. They're a side that knows how to win, and it was mentioned in the pre-match that Des Hasler and Canterbury, when you think they're not going to win, that's exactly what doesn't happen. Here they are again. Leisha getting 15 metres out of dummy half. Good run from Moses again. Really found a home for himself. So versatile in this Canterbury side. And the kick from Reynolds. Lee's underneath it, takes it comfortably. So Canberra, they have to go the length of the field. I did mention a function, Phil, earlier that Trent Barrett spoke at. You were there as well, a night for a mate last night for Ray Blacklock out at Penrith. Player that played for Canberra. Over 160,000 for your old teammate. It was a huge, huge night.
Yeah, wonderful night at Penrith last night. In fact, one of the best rugby league functions that I've ever been to. Everybody turned up to show their love and affection for Ray Blacklock, a former teammate of mine. And had so many who were there last night, but also a lot of family, friends, and just people from the Penrith area, the Newdown Club, his old junior league club at St Mary's, the Raiders. Sent people up and brought tables up there, and it was a great community event, a real show of rugby league love and respect, as you would expect when a mate's in trouble. And Ray and his family had a great night, which was wonderful. We can't thank all those that turned up enough for what they did.
Yeah, it was an honour roll. Steve Bowden, Tom Rodonicus, Craig Gower, Tim Sheens, you name it, every table had a big name of rugby league amidst people that just love the game. 700 people, as we see the Bulldogs with some broken play with Moses and by. That is the fourth for the day, is it? They'll go upstairs, but Reynolds could have back-to-back tries here.
Whoa, you go away. You go away. Okay.
What do you got, Mr. Referee?
Fifth tackle. We have a try.
It's a challenge for Frank Pritchard.
Yeah.
He's got to say try because he ruled play on. And this is another one of these ones where the referees ruled play on. Now, because it's a try, we'll go back and have a second look at it. And the first time we got a try, we'll see what happens now. And this is Frank Pritchard going through. Blake Austin, with his hand on the ball, pulls at it and rips it. I think that's a lost ball and a knock on. In the old days it was, but how they interpret that in the fact that Blake Austin has stripped at the ball. Blake Austin pulls at it. I think Frank knocks it on. I think he's got last touch. Could be argued the ball's gone backwards, but yeah, I think it's a knock on. From where the referee stood, he ruled play on, and I think that's the decision we should go with. I don't agree with going back to review this, but that's the system we have. Well, the ball's gone back there, I'd say. You'd have to say on the score of things. Remember, the referee has said try. They've got to get irrefutable proof that it's a no try. We might see try number 4 for the Bulldogs here in a very short space of time. Boom, what a start.
There it is.
Yeah, knock on. That's the decision. It's been ruled that's gone backwards. No, that's not what we ruled, though.
It is tough, this road trip, one of the toughest in the game, and is Moses Mbai to add the extras. It's there, it is 24-0. Darren Lockyer, what a scoreline.
Unbelievable. I guess the question is now, can the Raiders come back? I mean, they have plenty of time, as Gus alluded to, but their defence just isn't there. There's no intensity. They're dropping off one-on-one tackles, and even then it's a drop ball, but doesn't mean you should stop. So they just need to get back to basics in defence, make sure that they're making one-on-one tackles and get up off the line with some intensity.
Here they are, one of the huge forwards, about 6 of them, over 110 kilos. And this is a good break from the youngster on debut. As Phil Gould said, La Perouse Panther boys. They don't show signs of nerves. That was an outstanding run from Tyrone Phillips.
Yeah, the pass from Cassiano. High on confidence, the Bulldogs.
Silky skills for a big man. They are centre field, 21 out. It's with Reynolds to Williams. And just bumps one out of the way. Takes 4 of them to drag him to ground. Big Tony Williams, the T-Rex. Reynolds, Tolman, the captain. They're coming at them again. And a penalty to boot.
What do you do, Andrew?
Just slightly over the line, mate.
I take the 2.
Take the 2
I'd take the 2.
to get beyond 4 converted tries. Yep.
Guys.
There would be a sense that you feel like you're going to score every time you've got the ball, that you're going to score again, but there's a big difference between 20.
Pass.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? They've done this a few times, the Bulldogs.
Really bad defence there from the young winger.
Yeah.
In Hawkins.
Those big Bulldogs forwards, they know that the other team's going to come down and gang up on them, and a couple of times now we've seen them put players away like that. Here's what they call crowding in the play the ball area.
So this will take it to 26-0, and we saw a little bit of Tyrone Phillips. For those that haven't seen him before, anyone that's been watching the lower grades or the schoolboy competition a few years ago, he is electrifying.
Essentially a fullback or a centre, but like most young blokes, they get their debut playing on the wing very often.
La Perouse come through the system at South Sydney.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
To Matraville Sports High. Played there in the schoolboys competition. He's not that tall, but he's a pocket rocket.
But this is explosive from the Bulldogs. It's the sort of opening I would have anticipated from them today. We were watching the vision in their dressing room prior to the kick-off, and there just seemed to be a different demeanour about them this afternoon. You could tell they were going to come out all guns blazing. What the surprise is that the Raiders haven't been ready for it. I'm sure they were warned, but mentally they haven't coped with it at all.
And there will be a time where the Raiders are going to come back. Whether or not they can do 26 will be an interesting thing to watch, but they've got a lot of attack in them. No Jack Whiten today with that back injury, but there's plenty of other guys that can spark something. We're 18 and a half minutes gone. It is 26-0. As Greg Eastwood now. Big forward packs just rolling forward. Tolman, no James Graham today. Reynolds gets it to T-Rex, Tony Williams. The big don't argue. He is so strong. Leisha to Tolman, and he'll be wrapped up. 40-odd metres out, 41 out, last tackle, centre field. And it's with Reynolds, who just chips it over the top. And again, Rapana and his team have to work it out from the corner.
They've been really solid, the Bulldogs, on the sets of 6 where they haven't scored fouls. That's where they've given the Raiders the ball, back deep in that left-hand corner. It's nearly been inch perfect.
The locals trying to urge their side on, but that doesn't help things. The Englishman, Hodgson, knocks it forward, and Canterbury again in a very good attacking opportunity. Poor old Rick. could wind the clock back 20 minutes.
Well, they'd like to go back to the dressing rooms and start again, wouldn't they?
It was interesting to hear what he said. He said, I bet they come here with a state of war, well, a rugby league war, sporting war, and that's exactly what they've done. They've just rolled out these massive forwards as Eastwood. Up on the 20. Leisha. Cassiano will be, as he drags the ground, the ball comes loose, and Canberra now. And they get a relieving penalty. So the Raiders were only a quarter gone at GIO Stadium in Canberra. And they trail by 26.
Well, at the 20-minute mark, the home fans have had something to cheer about. They've got a penalty.
Yeah, mate. Thanks, bud. Oh, there, guys.
They've got a long way to go to get back into this one.
Just to offer you a little bit of positivity, you Canberra Raiders fans, Cowboys down 26-0 against Penrith in 1998. Admittedly, we're going back 17 years, but they did come back to win. And they do know how to attack Canberra. They're on their home patch, but it's been a brilliant start from the Bulldogs. There's a flat pass from Cornish. So 25 out. The Raiders through Fenton. Last tackle. Hodgson. There's the kick for Lee. He's a big tall winger. A penalty goes their way.
Come off. I'll get the mark. Josh! I'm going to place that on report. Whoa, I don't need you to say a word. Off the ball. You're on report, possible contact with the head. What? Go back, Cash. I'll get the mark.
Well, Josh Reynolds didn't want young Jared Croker to get near it. We know that Jared Croker is a proven leaper. He scores a lot of tries off chasing the high kicks.
On the line! On the line! On the
he's
line!
running a bit of interference here, but he's ended up on report. And as usual, is pretty animated about it.
He's been so good today, Reynolds. It's not the way he wants to go after being so good. A couple of tries and brilliant in the opening quarter for the Bulldogs. Here they are on the attack. The Canberra Raiders, a lovely pass from Cornish. And it takes all their power. Still alive, the Raiders. A loping pass. And Wanga will be brought down just 2 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Here's a go. Austin. Fenson. And wrapped up 5 out. 26-0 they trail. Hodgson to dummy half. Nice ball that. And he's just short Shannon Boyd.
It's before the line and a knock on.
And a knock on. So close.
Yeah, well, big Shannon Boyd has scored a couple of tries this year that have sparked big comebacks. The one at Leichhardt Oval.
Hey, just with that.
This is Reynolds taking Croker off the ball. Let's have a look. Yeah, what they're saying is he may have got a little clip on the chin there. So not only did he take him out, he might have clipped him high. And Shannon Boyd, in the last couple of weeks, he has scored barge over tries like this that have sparked a big comeback from the Raiders, and they've gone on to win. And he's gone within inches of scoring there. They needed it, but he fumbled it.
Well, Gus, as a coach in this position, you or Ricky Stewart, what is said at half-time to your players?
Well, my advice when you get well behind on the scoreboard like this, particularly when you're blown away early, and it happens to all of us, it's just part of football, is to chase it with your defence. The Raiders' only chance is if the Bulldogs finish the game after 80 minutes on 26 points. We might get to 26 points. We can't chase 32 or 38 and expect to win. So chase these points with your defence, dry up the scoring with the opposition, put some pressure on them so we get some turnovers, and then back ourselves in attack to come up with the points.
And just reiterating, this is a Canterbury side with no David Clemmer, no Josh Jackson, no Josh Morris, no Trent Hodkinson, And their captain, James Graham, is out injured.
And again, a completed set of 6 that goes down into the Raiders' left-hand corner, inches out from the dead ball line, and this time they force a scrum. So they've come here with a real plan today, the Bulldogs, and they're executing it perfectly.
A smart kick there from Reynolds. Fast surface, puts that grubber kick in, angling towards the sideline, letting that fast surface take control of the ball.
There it is, New South Wales and Queensland. State of Origin Game 1, live 7:30 for the best coverage with the great man Ray Rabbits-Warren. We've got some wonderful things to look out for. And then you've got one of the great sporting spectacles anywhere in the world. State of Origin 1, New South Wales and Queensland. It will be a beauty. We start in Sydney, we head to Melbourne, and the third game is in Brisbane. New South Wales, well, they hold the silverware. It's up to Queensland to grab it off them. It's a good run there from a Queenslander, a guy that's worn a maroon jersey, David Shillington. Passage of play for the Raiders. They charge over the halfway line. Odds in a dart. Almost breaks free, does Cornish. Hodgson. Boyd. Just peels a little ball, and the ball we played on the 20. It's come loose. And Austin's now got it. Inside ball, it'll be last tackle. It wasn't 6 to go, so 11 out with Canberra. Cornish, the little kick. Where is Croker? Just not there.
He's dangerous, Croker, isn't he, on kick shots? Well, it's a high ball or the rolling ball. He really gets in behind the line there and scores a number of tries off kicks. The Bulldogs quickly out to the 40 metres in only 2 plays.
A lot happier with that set from the Raiders, Gus, how they worked it downfield.
Yeah, it's all finish. It was good, and, you know, you need to finish off those sets of 6 to build the pressure on the opposition. And there was an air of desperation in the set of 6, though, too. You know, they're the sort of things that are going to create errors, and you find yourself back defending again.
Laffey plays it to Pritchard, and they'll go the short side, so the Bulldogs quickly now in a good position. They lead 26-0. This is the team that made the grand final last year. We haven't seen much of it in 2015. As Rona back inside to Thompson, and he gets him around a couple before Lee wraps him up. Last tackle, Bulldogs. And it will be Reynolds flipping the ball to Moses and by. Little left footer. And it didn't quite have the depth for him, but it's still alive here with the Bulldogs. Mbai gets a second opportunity, and that's a better kick. And it darts back to the Bulldogs. Reynolds floats it over to Thompson, and he is in the corner.
Forward pass.
Forward pass. Forward pass, and they need to pick it up on the field, because if they went upstairs, they cannot look at the forward pass.
Change over.
Ruling that ball went forward out of the hands, and you can see there from where he threw it to where he caught it, if it went forward out of the hands, there was a good indication there. And the let off for the Raiders, that could have been into the section.
Seen a few of those get let through too over the course of time. It wasn't. It was hardly an NFL pass, but anyway, it's no try. 26-0.
I'm not sure he needed to throw it. I thought he nearly could have scored himself.
Canberra through Austin, and Ricky will hope for a try, obviously, but he can't wait to see them. Yeah, he's gone down with his ankle, hasn't he, Rana?
Just while we're looking at this injury, it's a really good example of why Blake Austin's a dangerous player. Just watch the injury here. Blake Austin is the player that gives him the ball. Look how he gives the ball, and then he's there to back up on the offload every time. Watch him, he gives it, and then the minute it looks like it's available, bang, he's there again. Those players that give it and want it back are your dangerous players in the game.
All right, we'll take a break. 9 Sunday football. Dogs 26-0. Just over 11 minutes to go. Channel 9's Wide World of Sports, 9 Sunday football. It is a glorious afternoon in Canberra, but the Raiders, well, they have met a Bulldogs side that is absolutely brilliant today. Went down to South Sydney in the grand final last year and they played some great footy. They come into this game having won 1 in 6.
I think in that tackle, structurally, there's not a problem with Rapana. I think there's
Just stay with us, guys.
Frank Pritchard was wrapping him up. I think it was a kick with the shins.
Curtis, Josh, just wait. Tackle 4. Time on, hold.
Good to see him on his feet, Rapana, and he plays the ball. Strong run. And there's the left footer. Floats over the head of Perrott, and he tries to watch it, but he has to pick it up. And Sam turns and makes 15, almost 20. So outstanding stuff from Sam Perrott.
Yeah, but that's poor from the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders sat back thinking that ball was going to go dead too. When he turned around Sam Perrott, there should have been a green wall in front of him, banging him down on the dead ball line. Look at this, they're out past the 30 in a couple of tackles.
Nice ball from Pritchard to Mbai, and Phillips has had a couple of nice touches so far on debut at this level. So, big day for him and his family in Canberra. Last tackle. And Reynolds kicks it straight to Lee. Seen him do some exciting things the last couple of years, Edric Lee.
Well, 10 minutes before half-time, I mean, if the Raiders can claw 1 back, and preferably 2, if they could go to the break at 26-12, it won't seem so bad. We've really got to put some energy into this last 10 minutes because the Bulldogs have finally gone off the boil a little bit.
There's a ball to Austin, and he breaks free and gets it to Wanga. Edric Lee's on his hip. He goes himself, Wanga, and Wanga gets there. Oh, that was brilliant stuff. Caesar Wanga. Wow.
Well, there you go.
Up to tackle 3. We have a try.
It's a try, all right.
Confirm the grounding, touch and goal.
It's a try, all right. You could feel it. The Bulldogs just a little bit off the boil there. And it was Blake Austin's ability to support a ball runner and get the offload and then get things happening. And the strength of Caesar Wanga, he's able to muscle it down despite the attendance of defenders to get that down in the corner. And the Raiders are on the board. It's not great, but it's something. The Green Machine get a try.
Caesar Wanga. What a show of strength that was. He carried 2 on his back, still managed to get the ball down, and he had room to move. Brilliant stuff. And he's captain with an inspirational kick almost. bounces away. It's 26-4 Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, with the injury to Rapana, Wonga's gone back to fullback, so that's why he was down that left edge then. Actually, in that set of 6, he had 2 touches. Maybe, as we see here with the try, Austin here, as you said before, Gus, backing up. Nice little ball to Wonga, who had plenty to do. Goes into the corner and shows his strength to get it down. Now, is this the try that mounts the comeback for the Raiders? Well, sure, good start.
Love that play from the Raiders when they went one side of the ruck and changed the angles to fence, and then ball came back with close support as Shillington winds up.
Well, they've got to win this last 8 minutes now. That's their goal. That's their assignment. Little steps. Score again, 26-10. Okay, you're on the springboard. And the Dogs just starting to sit back and wait a little bit in defence.
26-4, Nostradamus Gould. He predicted that try as it was happening, and Austin broke away, and Caesar Wonga, we've seen him do some fantastic things over the past decade or so, and he's got the ball again, an attacking raid from Canberra. Tried to throw him into touch, but the ball will be played, and it's in the hands of Austin. Austin defends him. So they're 19 out, 7 minutes, just under 7, last tackle, and it's with Cornish. And there goes the kick for Croker and Lee. Edrick gets it, throws it over the back to no one. Croker still keeps it alive. It's still going with Canberra. And then a brilliant tackle from Tim Brown.
Stop the game, Michael. Lisa Bloodman.
That's really good hustle there from the Bulldogs.
Michael.
Look at that. They made 25 metres with their defence. Just getting back
I just need to go out the back.
and hassling the Raiders players as they tried to keep it alive on last play.
Treated out the back to start with. Right eye.
Michael Elisha, a little bit of a flesh wound.
Okay, we're going to go. Let's go.
That's magic water they put on that. That heals everything.
Quite a bit of claret coming out of the young hooker for Canterbury.
Secret water.
Old sponge and their medicinal purposes, a bit like the old oranges they used to have at half time. They were talked up a fair bit as Tolman to be wrapped up. Remarkable first half of footy here from the Bulldogs, and Desi had his charges ready to go. It's now up for Ricky Stewart to get the right message into Canberra, and they're capable of coming back. So many great attacking players. We're going to have a fantastic second half as Moses Mbai just darts one into touch. Where do you think he'll finish, Moses Mbai? Gus has played a number of positions now, and he's been handy every time he's done it. There's the Panthers-Eels next Friday night.
I think he's in his right position today. I see him as a 7 or 6, just depending on how your coach likes your 7 to play. Some coaches like their 7 to be very, very structured, and other coaches like them to be up front. Just depends on the personality of the 7. But he's a kid that can play anywhere in those 2 positions, 7 or 6. And I think he's a really good player. I like him.
Yeah, and he's a very good kicker. He's been brilliant today.
Well, he looks a footballer. He's in the game. He's emotionally in the game. He didn't try to bite off too much. He thought, well, just roll it into touch. We'll settle things down. Kurt Baptiste on the field now, and he's starting to get this ruck rolling forward for the Raiders, getting the Bulldogs on the back foot. Out from Dunning half again.
He's dynamic out of there. You won't miss him. He's got that unmistakable look with the Kojak hairstyle and the beard. Oh, Canberra! Fence him.
I'm happy to ground him. He's onside.
It won't be 12, but it will be 10, Phil.
Well, there you go. They've still got time to get another one too. It wasn't the best of kicks when they came down this short side on the 5th tackle. I thought, well, maybe they're going to run themselves out of the room. Baptiste down the short side. Croker, Isuzu D-Max replay just speculates. He kicks it back in field. And as a Bulldog player, It's poor old Aidan Tolman who thought he had the ball there covered, but it just beat him, and Fensham going forward down the middle of the field as though anticipating the kick back inside. Look at Tolman. So just bounce up. Give it to me. Give it. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. And the Raiders are in. Gee, a game can change quickly, can't it?
There was an element of kick and hope there from Croker, but it was brilliant all the same. He wanted to get it near the goalpost, and it just bounced and bubbled and bopped, and there the player was, Fensham.
Well, the difference there is that a Raider player chased through just in case. No Bulldog defender felt it was urgent enough to go back and defend. And now we have a scoreline of 26-10, which suddenly isn't all that bad.
Yeah, it looks a lot more promising than what it did about 10 ago. Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, a bit of luck there for the Raiders. Croker he looked like he went to put the ball in the air, actually, but it came off the inside of the foot. And the Bulldogs are probably just guilty of waiting for half time to come. As you see it here, he tried to put it up high, but went down low. It wasn't a good bounce for the Bulldogs, but you can sense the Bulldogs' defence is just a bit lax there. They're just waiting for half time, and the Raiders took advantage.
26-10, just under 3 remaining. Great to have Sunday footy in Canberra. A team with such wonderful traditions, another big run.
Now, the Bulldogs have now got guilty of sitting back in defence and waiting. They've got to knock a little bit of the go forward out of this Raiders side. They're starting to gallop forward with confidence, and it's got to be belted out of them. If you just allow them to charge forward like they're doing, look at this, offloading and tackles. Bulldogs have gone to sleep here.
There's enough time, and a 10-point game at half-time, wouldn't that be 40 minutes of football? As the try scorer, Fensham, a little bit of momentum, and every one of them's got a bit of extra charge in them as Ricky Stewart looks on pensively. Wanga. Oh, you've seen him do some great stuff, Phil, with the Roosters, with Melbourne, with Canberra. He's an athlete, Wanga, and this is the last tackle. Austin with a little chip, and they just stand there. Aidan Tolman finally gets something to go his way after having a couple of moments he would rather forget.
He's incredible, Aidan Tolman. He was the one on Cesar Wanga when he scored over in the corner, the front rower back cover defending. He was the only one back there trying to get the kick when Croker put it through. And when Blake Hopkins get kicks, who's back there to get it? Aidan Tolman. That's incredible stuff from the big front row.
And he's captain today. He's got the C next to his name, no James Graham, so...
I don't think he's had a break either. I think he's played right through.
So certainly leading by example. We've got a minute 10. It's been a very entertaining game of rugby league. And there's the kick from Mbai, straight down the throat of Wanga. So they've got about a minute to do something. He's got those flashy, almost dancing shoes on, Cesar Wanga. I just mentioned how good he's been. Phil, what do you make of Cesar Wanga over the past little while with the different clubs he's played?
Oh, he's an athlete. There's no doubt about it. Big, tall, strong, fast. In the Melbourne system, he's learned his football and become very adept at a number of positions. Bulldogs have got to hold their hands up here. Real spring in the Raiders' step.
20 seconds to go with Austin. Austin there with that man, Wanga. Back inside to Edric Lee. He can burn. Last tackle, 26-10. 10 seconds left on the clock. There's Blake Austin. He kicks for his Flyers. And is there one? Yes, there is. There's the try. This could well be a 10-point ball game at halftime.
Well, there you go. The last play before halftime. Remember this. They were down 18 points to nil after 10 minutes. They were down 26-0 after about 15 minutes. And slowly but surely they have clawed their way back into the contest by Suzu D-Mac's replay. Last play of the half. 5th tackle kick across field. The Fensham try was the last play of the set of 6. A kick across field. Papali gets it. Croker will convert. We'll have a 10-point ball game. It'll be 26-16. Forget about how we got here. That'll be the score going to the break. And it's still all to be done in the second half. And the home side have got the momentum. What an extraordinary game of football.
It certainly had a bit of yellow brick road about it this first half. An extraordinary 40 minutes here in Canberra. As the light fades, we're going to have just 10 points in it, and 10 points in the modern game is nothing. And I'm taking that for granted that Jared Croker's going to slot this in, but with everything going right for them the last 15 minutes or so, you'd be a brave person to bet against it.
Oh, he knocked this over with his forehead. He's a really good goal kicker, this kid. He won't miss this. That's an extraordinary last 10 metres of play. 10 minutes of play. They were down 26-0 at the 30 minutes.
He doesn't get his head in the way. He slots it through. It's 26-16. 4 tries in 4 weeks for Josh Papali. So we have 26-16, a big second half on the way. Half-time's next. Andrew Johns, Darren Lockyer join Yvonne Sampson to take us through the first half action. You're watching the Raiders and the Bulldogs live across the Nine, the Win and the NBN networks. As well as one signed by Ricky Stewart of the team will be auctioned with all money raised going to cancer research. Please get involved, get generous as you possibly can. Place your bid, go to allbids.com.au. That is allbids.com.au. So a great initiative from the Canberra Raiders. And a fact that has just been brought in by the guru of all facts. Since 1908, this is from David Middleton, 79,996 tries have been scored in Premiership Rugby League. 4 more in the second half, and we hit 80,000. So there you go. That's from Middo. Comes up with some rippers. And the Bulldogs have a 10-point lead to protect.
What a half of footy. What a half of footy we've got coming up. Gus, who do you like?
Well, the home side have got the momentum, and it's like
Eastwood.
the Bulldogs have come out and try and repeat what they did in the first half of the first half. The Raiders have got to be on guard here, and if they can hold them in the first 20 minutes of the second half, you'd have to think the home crowd and the home side might finish over the top of them. Interesting to see what Des said to him at half-time.
Yeah, Ricky probably changed his address in the last 15 minutes of the first half. Only 10 points in it now. As we see the kick from Reynolds and tidied up nicely by Lee. He's an athlete. We haven't seen him in full flight today. Wanga. Straight into big Lloyd Perrott. Quite a different dimension to his older brother Sam. He's a big fella. It's the Raiders through Kennedy. And he's marched back. Defence from the Bulldogs. Well, he certainly looked nice and intense at half-time. We had some pictures of Des, and he doesn't look intense most times, but he was marching around, giving instructions and whacking his piece of paper.
Well, despite the fact that they're down on troops, you know, they've got Origin players missing and a few injuries, it still would be a devastating loss if they don't convert this 26-0 lead into a victory. They've got a lot of work to do to close this game, that I'll tell you.
It's a twilight in Canberra. It was -5 at about 7:30 this morning. Not that it's -5 right now, but it's moving towards that. Well, there's differing opinions on this city, but some beautiful countryside. Brindabellas, there it is. GIO Stadium in Canberra. It's been quite a house of footy.
That's okay.
Another nice kick. Darren Lockyer.
Just a quick update on Jordan Rapana. He's got a high ankle sprain, and he won't be back tonight, so the Raiders are down to 16 as we see him in the sheds there in a fair bit of pain. They're not much fun, high ankle sprains.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a lot of fun having ice on your ankle today, but that's what's needed. Canberra with young Cornish.
All the way.
First try in the second half is so vital.
But it gives us a little bit of an insight as we see Canberra work their way out. Phil, gives an insight into the road trip of teams like Canterbury and others. We see Shillington with a nice run. It's not an easy one, is it, Canberra? It's not far away, but the conditions are far away. They're foreign.
Oh, yes and no, Tim. I think these professional players these days have got no real excuse to use travel or playing away from home as an excuse. I was never really a home and away coach myself, but I felt you could perform anywhere at any time if you're prepared. It's not like the old days where you work Monday to Friday and then you had to find your way down the highway to Canberra to play on Sunday. You lose a bit of focus, but this is what they do. This is what they do for a living. They're professional footballers.
Gus, every time the draw would come out at the start of the year, I'd always look at Canberra, and if we had them on a Sunday afternoon, I'd be fist pumping. I used to hate playing down here on a Friday night. It's a big advantage playing down here during the day.
Here they are, the Dogs, with Tolman at dummy half, and there's definitely a different sense of energy in Canberra after they've scored those points. A big hit.
Well, here they go. Big error there from Lucia, running the ball in the last play.
Let the ball go. Let the ball go.
And it was things like that that had him in the origin system for Queensland. He's still there. Josh Papali, big hit.
Yeah, great tackle, Papali.
Yeah.
Always amazes me watching Papali live for a big man. His footwork and his power. He gets to the line. His late footwork's devastating.
Baptiste and Boyd has certainly made an impact since he's come on. Shillington charges down, 12 out centre field. Canberra, they've got 10 to make up. Cornish goes forward.
Okay, 2 SH.
That was the wrong play at the wrong time.
He had to run.
Yeah, he didn't need to squeeze or try to squeeze it forward through the hole there. It was just that low percentage play. It was even a forward pass anyway. That was really poor.
Yeah, on the back of that run from Shillington, there was room around the ruck for Cornish to show and go and straighten off his right foot. I think if he decided to run there, it could have worried the Bulldogs.
Certainly done some good things this year, young Cornish, and he's new to the NRL in many ways, and grew up an hour up the road in Goulburn. In just 13 NRL games, 22 years of age. The Goulburn Stockman is where he started, and he has certainly been part of Ricky Stewart's plan in 2015 as the ball stays alive with the Bulldogs. But that defence that you were critical of, Phil, in the first half is certainly a lot more solid on that edge.
Well, they've got their dander up, haven't they? They've got the crowd behind them, and they're the ones with the real momentum. They just picked up where they left off in that last 10 minutes of the first half. Remember, they were down 26-0 after 30 minutes. And we mentioned at the time if they could get one, maybe two before half-time, it wouldn't feel so bad. Well, they got 3. And they're on the front foot here again.
There's a pass from Lucia in that set of 6. Comes out at dummy half. Instead of passing left to right, it's like he's back playing under 9s. He turned his back and passed it the other way to his most favourable side, the right to left pass. You see, he gets out of dummy half. He's got to pass left to right long. See, he turns his body. The ball floats forward. 6 to go for the Raiders.
Here they come with Shillington, and he's had a prominent role since coming on. Really nice mix here in Canberra at the moment of players from outside the area and some locals that have come through. It's always been a difficult one, or it has been a difficult one over the past 10 or 15 years to get people to come to Canberra. But he's got a good squad right now. There's one of them. He's one of the locals. Cornish. Austin. So they're 12 out. Here's Fenson. He got one of the meat pies in the first half, and he'll be wrapped up. 5 out from the Bulldogs line, last tackle. Baptiste with Cornish into the left foot. And he'll have nowhere to go. Sam Parrott and the chances on. So Canberra, Spinnaker's up. And there's Rick. Not going to smile yet, but he's happier than what he was in the first half.
Well, that's a better fifth tackle play than what they produced early in the first period. They were patient there. They thought, OK, we're not in position to score. So he just drops it on the left foot, pokes it into the in goal. And they're there in numbers to round tear it up. They can come back and have another shot. Coach is happy. It's exactly what he would have liked at that time. Not to panic. Don't let the scoreboard make you do silly things. They're controlling this nicely at the moment.
26-16 State of Origin week. On Wednesday, it's all on at ANZ Stadium in Homebush as we see a penalty.
Corey Thompson, redirect. Gotta let go. Play on!
And Edric Lee takes a quick one. Tell you about Origin in just a tick. Everyone's got it in their diary. Wednesday. Here they are, Canberra. 6 out. One of their own is the coach of the Blues. Oh, big tackle. He's a huge man, Sam Cassiano, and he whacks Baptiste down. He takes a dart from dummy half.
Back foot.
Cornish. Runner. Around one. Pops it inside to Papali. Try scoring machine that he is. 4 in 4 game. Penalty again.
No quick. Seaside. 2. No. Tackle 10, mate. Seaside. 2.
It's all downhill for the Raiders, isn't it? They've got a head of steam up and the Bulldogs just can't stop them.
So Fenson 1 metre away from the Bulldogs line. Baptiste to dummy half. Spins it wide to Cornish inside to Austin. Oh, Steve Slash. Blake Austin.
Come off. Blake Austin. Tackle 2. Blake Austin with the ball. There you go. Video ref. Josh. We have no try. No try. Just make sure there's no obstruction in the grounding.
What, he's been playing like a bionic man this year. He just hit that ball at pace. Lovely pass inside.
He comes to life, Blake, when the try line's on offer. Look, he gets back in there. It's a 5'8" that likes to run the ball and score tries, and he muscles his way towards the in goal. Wasn't that far away. Wasn't that far away at all. But just held up, I would say.
Cowboys.
It's a nice place from the Raiders. Long pass, short pass. Strain the defence, get Tony Williams chasing the half-back Cornish and then play back on the inside. And then Eastwood, he fills the gap from the inside. And tremendous technique there to get his body between the ground and Austin. Smart play there from the Raiders. I like that. That play, long pass and then strain the defence and then short pass back on the inside. It's a no try, it's held up.
When he went to the Tigers, many of the coaching staff were there saying, watch out for Blake Austin, and it didn't quite work for him. He did some good things, but since he's come to Canberra, he has been brilliant. No try would be the order of the day here.
There's no try.
All the momentum is with Canberra right at the moment. They trail by 10.
Back foot here, Greg. Tackle 2, yeah, Chids. Time on. Go. Tackle 2.
Baptiste. 5 out, 10 down. Baptiste, Cornish, Papali, Josh Papali. They needed all their defence there to push him back. Big and fast, Wanga at dummy half. Cornish. And Nuasala throws him out the back again to Baptiste. It's with Wanga now. Wanga inside ball to Austin. Austin, yes, Blake Austin.
I love this sort of play as the Raiders go in with all the momentum. I love this style of play where team works through the sideline and then moves the ball to the middle of the field with a power run from a forward, and they generate an offload. You see here, strong run from Frank Poole, Uwasala. He generates an offload. It comes out the back, and eventually they keep coming the same way, and it just shortens the numbers. Sisawanga goes the line and changes the angles. And look at this bloke. He's just a footy player. Give me the ball on the Isuzu D-Max replay.
Great control, bro.
9 Sunday footy. What a game of rugby league we've had today. Blake Austin. Here comes the kick from Croker. There's just 4 in it, Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, I mean, momentum all with the Raiders, but that man there, he has been outstanding. I mean, he's been the cause of the fight back, really, and it's his running game. You know, we've highlighted he's always playing on the ball. You see here, he's always looking where the ball is, and he's accelerating towards the line, as you see here, and he's got great strength. Ricky Stewart said that before the game he'd like to see him pass more, but when you see that, you just want him to run.
It is 26-22.
Who you on now, Andrew?
Oh, the Raiders.
Tries to Wanga, Benson, Papali and Austin. They were trailing 26-0.
Right, you've been in games, Andrew, where you've had a big lead and all of a sudden the opposition's mounting a comeback. How do you arrest the comeback? What are you trying to get your team to do?
Well, for me, you've got to keep playing. You can't get nervous. You've still got to encourage your forwards to get forward and some offloads and play with some width. The worst thing the Bulldogs can do is put the ball up their jersey and play negative, run from dummy half and try to protect their lead. They have to through the shoulders and fight fire with fire. Keep playing.
Isn't it amazing? At 24-0, they had a penalty kick in front of the post, and I asked you, what would you do? And the obvious answer is we kick the goal, but it's a little bit like kicking a field goal in the first half of the game, isn't it? A lot of teams that kick the field goal in the first half, they think, well, that's it.
Well, they relax.
Yeah, we're done for the afternoon. That's enough to win. And get you in trouble a lot of the time. I would not have ejected had the Bulldogs taken the tap and tried to score a fifth because they were so far on top. Having said that, in trouble at 26 is enough to win.
And Bai kicks it straight down the throat of Caesar Wanga. Now, State of Origin, Wednesday night, the night after Origin 1, live on the panel, Origin legends Mark Geyer, Gordon Tallis, exclusive post-match reports from both sheds, and Bo Ryan continues his bromance with The Rock. A little different. Funny man Bo. As we see Jared Croker running backwards and forwards, and he finishes up where he began. There is 25 minutes left here in Canberra. We've had a ripping game of football.
Loose carry. The Rock must get into the player. Just hit the player and then gone backwards.
All right.
Loose carry, mate, on contact.
Pretty much their first bad error of the second half.
Oh.
It's a loose carry, but that's life.
Let's go, guys, back here.
125 kilos of help there, Sam Cassiano, but
Still a loose carry. But having made this tremendous comeback and got themselves in the contest,
Okay, we'll go one ref, guys.
the Raiders have got to back up their attack with their defence now. And this is really the first time in probably half an hour that they might be put under some pressure. The game has gone with possession. They've got to start turning the Bulldogs away in these situations.
almost goes to no one. And here he is. We mentioned how dynamic this kid on the blue is. Tyrone Phillips. Just staying with David Middleton's stat, but 3 away from 80,000 now as the Bulldogs, 22 out. Big Sam Cassiano gets a bit cranky after that, and it's on it. Oh, there's a try! Frank Pritchard splits through, and while there was a bit of argy-bargy going on...
Make sure there's no holding from Cassiano to take out Frank Paul. We're on tackle 3 here. We have a try. Just make sure that the ball carrier doesn't interfere with the marker after they play the ball.
Oh, dear. Anyway, some nice work here from Michael Leisher out of dummy half to put Frank Pritchard into a hole. Some lazy defence from the Raiders. Whether or not here the video referee saves him because Sam and Frank Paul have had a little bit of a set to there. Well, he hasn't gone anywhere near him. Well,
it was the second marker, Gus. Paul Vaughan was looking the other way.
Yeah, they just want to fight the other two back there. There's nothing going on there. But that's just lazy defence there from the Raiders. And that's what I talked about at the scrum. You've got to back it up. So they're having a little bit of a set too there. That's nothing. They're silly as each other. The action was at the ball. Frank Pritchard scores the try. And a little bit of breathing space for the Bulldogs. Poor defence by the Raiders. Really poor defence there.
They're back. It's 30 points to 22, and Frank Pritchard, lovely pass, but he burst onto it with that traditional Pritchard manner, which is just get out of my way. And Moses Mbai, apologies for the Christian name, Moses, and he just waves it away, so it stays at 30-22.
Yeah, why this try was scored, because second marker, Paul Vaughan, he clocks off from his shot. Watch the second marker. You see he's pointing right, but then he goes left, which enables the dummy half to get out and make the outside defenders of Blake Austin turn in, which frees up Pritchard. Just the dummy half there. See, both markers go the same way, which then makes Blake Austin come in from his edge defence. Really poor marker defence there from the Raiders.
Here comes a bit of momentum with the Bulldogs. Big charging run. This time from Antonio Kafusi. He's travelled a bit. We've seen him all around the wall. And he's lost that one, Cassiano. Papali.
Here we go again.
One up.
Oh, what a game. How good is it?
Here we go again. Just when you think one team might have it going okay, they lose the ball and the other team comes roaring back.
So Paul Vaughan will play the ball, 21 out from the Bulldogs line. It's with Austin. Austin, big hit from Kafusi on Austin, and it's hurt him. Play goes on around him, and it's Austin to Vaughan again. And he'll be wrapped up. 5 out, Bulldogs line. 5 out for the Bulldogs line. It is the Raiders on the attack with Cornish. And he runs straight into Tony Williams, and Cassiano comes in to help things out there. 30-22 Bulldogs as Frank Paul is marched back. Last tackle. There's the kick. There's the try.
Okay, we're on tackle 6. We have a try. Just confirm the onside.
What a kick here from Is it Hodgson at dummy half?
This might end up 40 all.
Onside, yeah, he's on.
I don't know if he is. I don't think he is.
Doesn't look it.
Don't you just have to have 1 foot behind the ball?
Oh, that's the old Billy Slater rule.
Well, we are in Canberra.
He's in front. He's in front of the kicker. There's no risk he's in front of the kicker. He's in front of the kicker there.
Maybe. If we show that side-on angle, again, his back foot is behind the ball.
They've gone to the grounding.
That's a smart kick.
It's a try.
Well, the Bulldogs players came back out into the field to play. They were convinced they were going to get a penalty for offside, but not enough evidence for the video referee to overturn it.
He's a smart player, the Englishman.
And the lead will now be reduced to 2. This will be the closest the Raiders have been since the first couple of minutes of play, and there's still 20 minutes left to go.
79,999 comes from David Middleton. One more to get to 80,000 tries since 1908. And Jared Croker makes no mistake. It is 30 points to 28. Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, that was obviously a planned move. I mean, great execution. A little bit like the Storm do with Cameron Smith coming out to the left for Billy Slater. This time, they come out to the right. A little, you see there, caution. He knew it was coming that way. Well executed. Raiders only 2 points away.
It's an amazing kick when you see the angles in which Hodgson gets out of dummy half and the way he angles the ball back. But then to find the space and thread the needle through to get that kick through, that was extraordinary skill from the dummy half.
Tim Gilbert, you and David Middleton are very excited about this 80,000th try that we're going to have here this afternoon. Is there going to be fireworks and dancing girls or something? Is there?
Well, apparently there are some dancing girls coming into town, Phil. They've been organised by David Middleton. But I'll quieten down on that stat, but it's he comes in with such enthusiasm, it's hard to bridle it.
80,000 tries. Only David Middleton can go up and count.
Here they come, Canberra. That goes into touch. It's 30 to 28. We have got a great 19 minutes of football to come.
Well, Ricky Stewart just kicked a 40-20 with a chair when he saw that ball go down over the sideline. And that was a little bit of a rush of blood. That's getting a bit excited. Still plenty of time to go in this game. No.
I love that play from the dummy half, as Ricky's not happy.
Yeah. That it was a 40-20 with the chair. And Ricky now has a high ankle sprain, but he's not letting on.
We've got a new segment on the Today Show with Grumpy Coaches, and Ricky will feature. He's positioned that plastic chair back to where it started from. Here come the Bulldogs.
Well, again, I say to the Raiders, if you want to win this, you've got to start turning the Bulldogs away when they get in this position. They've rarely done it all afternoon.
And by Pritchard. And that's where Big Frank scored the try only minutes ago. Leisha to Laffey. Reynolds. Oh, Bulldogs. He dives in desperation.
There's a carbon copy of the second try. Why the Raiders left side are backing off?
We're on tackle 3 here. We have a try.
Really poor defence out wide from Jared Croker.
Yeah, 100% right there, Andrew. It's exactly the same play. They ran off a penalty kick to score their second try of the game. It's just whether or not he gets this down. Corey Thompson, wingers rarely miss in this situation. Beautifully done. Feet in the air, slams the ball down. And again, that is terrible defence from the Raiders. Terrible. They have not been able to turn the Bulldogs away once this game.
Nines Sunday football. Superb finish from Corey Thompson.
Well, there it is, Timmy. Corey Thompson has scored the 80,000th try since the beginning of time, rugby league history. I'm looking around for dancing girls and fireworks. Nothing. Crickets. We've got crickets. No one even knows. No one in the crowd even knows.
Middo's dancing.
Middo's delirious. He's popped the champagne. He's having a drink. He thinks it's the most wonderful moment in rugby league history. And everyone else is oblivious to the fact.
We might get to 81,000 the way they're going. In by. That comes off the side of the club. It is 34-28. Darren Lockyer.
Well, the champagne's flowing down here, boys. But the Dogs, they got themselves back in front. And I guess Josh Reynolds, I think, is the key man from here. He played a part in that try, but he had a brilliant first 40, but now he needs the next 15 minutes to take control and close this one out.
We just saw a shot of Des Hasler. It looked like he walked from Sydney to Canberra. He has had an emotional game.
Well, it's 15 minutes to go. We might get another 4 tries yet, the way this game goes.
There's a head clash here between Kaufusi and Shannon Boyd. Let's hope they're both okay. The big men up front.
Leave them there.
It's been a hugely entertaining game.
Well, if you like tries, you can't go crook. Bang.
Ooh. Straight into the cheekbone.
Yeah, just proof again that accidents can happen. These two fellas ran at each other from 50 metres away, but still managed to clash heads. He's saying you're off, you've got to go. The trainer here will say you're okay, you're staying. Is he? We're having a head bin with this fellow. The other fellow's not going anywhere. He's going to get up and play the ball.
Staying on. Pick the ball up, huh?
Antonio Kaufusi just cracks his neck and away he goes.
Okay.
But it looks like they want to take him off.
Yeah. The doctors have overruled on the sideline and said you've got to go. Antonio Kaufusi looks a little bit confused.
Yeah.
And Tim Brown will come on in jersey 15.
One of the players yelled out, he's all right, only hit him in the head. Good blokes, footballers. I love footballers.
And quite a player, hasn't he, Antonio Kaufusi, over the years. Now in Bulldogs colours, as we see their captain today. And Tolman plays it. They've only won 1 in 6 coming into this one against the Raiders as Lucia. Just reiterating, it should be a cracking game Wednesday night. We started talking about State of Origin, that all the bells and whistles will be there with our coverage. So make sure you are comfortable wherever you are in the country. 7:30 Wednesday night, New South Wales and Queensland. Game 1 from ANZ Stadium in Homebush.
Smart kick there from Reynolds. Gives his forwards a breather. Once again using the fast surface. GIO Stadium. Just lets the surface take the ball over the sideline.
Let's go, we're all here.
Smart kick.
Stay here, boys. Wait till it's go, Sam. Come on, Sam, we're all here.
What a bizarre game. A lot of fun. Not so much fun for the coaches involved, but a lot of fun for everyone else.
2 hands. Ball in. Out!
So here they are, Canberra. There's 6 points in this one. Just under 15 minutes remaining. And they're going to work it out of their own territory. Just a converted try in it. 62 points. What a game. Been plenty of great tries.
Golden point 40 all. I can just see it coming.
Here's Papali. Scored one of them for Canberra. Hodgson. To Frank Paul and squeezed the ball out. Last tackle. Canberra 41 out from the Bulldogs line with Austin. And high it goes. Sam Perrott underneath it, takes it beautifully. The chase was good and they work it out. Perrott to dummy half. 9 Sunday football in Canberra. What a cracking finish we've got. Leisha throws it to Cassiano. A little bit of hot potato stuff as Tolman now steadies the ship and he's wrapped up.
That's a problem. When the Bulldogs do offload the ball in tackles, they all stand so flat that nothing really happens from it, and all you're doing is waiting for a mistake. If you just go back to that play there previously, there where Elisha ran from dummy half, and he gets an offload, and then someone else offloads, because the Bulldogs stand so flat, nothing's going to come of it. And all you're really doing is offloading to get another mistake. See, they all go up. They're all sort of standing flat. They're all in each other's pockets. Ball comes out the back. There's no one to pass it to. They're all offside. So he passes it to someone who's got to make a grab at it. And they're not going anywhere.
Let's go, guys.
Now, you compare that to the Raiders, you know, when it looks like there's a bit of an offload. Blake Austin, Cornish, they're all coming from a mile back, hitting the hole hard. The Bulldogs stand alongside of each other and saunter up the field together.
This twisting and turning afternoon, no doubt there's going to be some more. As Wanga short side. Strong defence from the Dogs. Laffey in there, Pritchard with him as well. And eventually Kennedy got to play the ball. They're on their own 40, Canberra. They're down by just the 6. They were down by 26 as Austin. Last tackle. A little left footer from Cornish. Sam bobbled it, but it's almost come the whole length of the... Crossfield, and eventually wrapped up is Tim Laffey. First game back in 5 after a knee problem. He stays down. Also, so there's a head clash with Kennedy. Another one.
I don't think in the history of the game I've seen as many players staying down in tackles as what we've seen this year. There just seems to be, I'm not saying they're not warranted, but there just seems to be a lot of collisions where heads are clashing. And
I think this is Papali.
Yeah, it doesn't look in a good way, Laffey.
There's a little bit of billiards here. I think Papali comes in and hits Kennedy. Cannon's into...
He's trying to show...
Laffey, watch this, bang.
Yeah, that's his shoulder. It's not his head. It's his shoulder, so he's not going down for a head clash.
If there's one head I wouldn't want to collide with, it would be Josh Papali.
Anyway, he's coming off. He's...
Tackle 1.
So Laffey leaves the field, and we have 11 and a half minutes remaining in Canberra.
So how many players have each team got left now? It might be down to the bare 13 each side, are we?
They're pretty barren benches, and we'll get a shot of the benches. A lot of plastic chairs, far from the one that Ricky kicked. And there you go. James Graham, but he's got his tracksuit pants on. Tony Williams. Big T-Rex. Leisha to dummy half to Pritchard. They've got a 6-point lead. They've got 11 minutes to go.
When do you think field goal, Andrew?
No, not yet. I feel there's a couple more tries left in this one.
Last tackle, Leisha to play the ball back to Pritchard, and they work the short side with Mbai and Wanga. So they're making them work their way back into it, Canberra. Got a lot of work to do to get down the other end of the field. 34-28. Wanga at dummy half. Cornish. And he just almost gets through there, Soliola. Captain Croker and his side swap by Reynolds. The locals don't like it. Vaughan. Ricky's still on the sideline. 10 to go. Blake Austin chips over the top to the debutant. Goes over Phillips' head and Perrett's there. And a great chase from Blake Austin. First man there. And he's there again in the tackle on Phillips.
Bulldogs very bunched here. There's not much happening in this set of six, you wouldn't think. It's just, as Andrew said, put the ball under the jumper and try and knock it up without making a mistake. Ricky Stewart barking out orders from the sideline. He wants to get into the action. How close he'll be on the field. I really get the feeling the Raiders think they can win this. Just got to get the ball at the right time.
It's a chilly evening, a chilly Sunday night, and what a game we've got. The left footer, 9 minutes remaining, is Wanga. He's already scored a brilliant try today, and he gets it to Edric Lee. And Edric will be wrapped up. 21 out from his own line. Cornish to dummy half and back to Cesar Wanga. Clambering over the top of him. It's last man standing in Canberra. Plenty of players injured. Canberra roll over the halfway line. 42 out from the Bulldogs.
Here's the big play.
Cornish. Austin. There's the kick. And he kicks beautifully for Hawkins, who nearly gets there, but tidies up in defence. There wasn't much in that, but Tyrone Phillips did well.
Yeah, he did really well, Tyrone Phillips. He had to turn and hustle, get back that ball. They're on the back foot here, the Bulldogs. They're 6 in front, but they're gone. The petrol gauge is flashing empty. And the Raiders are trying to lift their fans. They just want the ball in good field position. And you feel like the Raiders might finish the better here.
Coleman. Big hit from Papali. Bounces off.
They're lumbering up to the line now, the Bulldogs. The backs have got to get in there. The halves have got to get in there and move the ball. Reynolds says, let's get out of here. He kicks it.
And Edric Lee will take this. It bobbles around. He eventually grabs it, but he's over the halfway line already. So 45 out Canberra. They've got a full set. They trail by 6 with Cornish. Cornish to Wanga.
This is the set of 6 they've been looking for, to get the ball in good field position. That's tackle 2.
Well, left centre for the Bulldogs is Tony Williams. That's the side to attack.
The natives are restless. The roaring crowd here at GIO Stadium. Their team 6 points behind. Here they come. Wanga. Wanga. Cesar Wanga. He does it again.
You can feel it. The Bulldogs were gone. Physically, they were gone 3 minutes ago. You can see it in their body language. They couldn't advance the ball. They couldn't run in numbers. They couldn't chase in numbers. And eventually the Raiders have marched them up the field on the Isuzu D-Max replay. This is just tired defence and willing offence as Cesar Wanga throws the dummy, says, I'll do it myself. Don't worry about a trick shot. He just pushes his way through the line, and young Jared Croker will have a kick from out on the edge to level this up for the first time since we kicked off 75 minutes ago.
Look at that, what an athlete.
Yeah. And look, I get the feeling the Raiders will score again. You know, even if he doesn't kick this, I get the feeling the Raiders have got another try in them, where I'm not sure the Bulldogs have. Their fuel gauge is gone. They're on reserve tank.
What a 6 minutes we have left here in Canberra. And what a kick this is from Jared Croker, the captain of the Raiders. He's a few metres in. This to square it all up. At 34 apiece. Comes in. Strikes it. Kicks it. 34 all. GIO Stadium, Canberra.
Was never going to miss it.
He was never going to miss it, was he?
No, the game was always going to get to this point. We were always going to get to this point. extraordinary first 20 minutes of play where the Bulldogs ran out to a 26-0 lead. 26-0. Now, since the 20th minute of the game, the Raiders have scored 34 points to 8.
You watch how hard they run here, the Raiders forwards. They'll come off the back fence, starting with Shillington.
Shillington. He bursts into the defence. We are all locked up. Possession exactly 50-50. Don't go anywhere. 34 all. Here comes Canberra.
Blake Austin can drop a kick ball about 60 metres too. I mean, they're in field goal range now, and they've still got a couple of tackles up their sleeve. I think they've got another try in.
Here's Hodgson. He looked to get it and went to ground. This has been an amazing comeback. One of the greatest we've ever seen as Boyd. He's on the 20. Last tackle.
Blake Austin.
34-34. Back to Austin. He strikes it. No. And it's waved away. It's waved away.
Wow.
Okay. Aiden. That's the first cut. I sent you out the back to get cheated.
A blood bin for Aiden Tolman, just to add to the intrigue. There's the drop kick.
Make sure it wasn't touched,
Look at this. It's in, it's in, it's in, it's in, it's out. Like I said, he could kick it from 60 metres away if he wanted to.
It's just a little waft that waved it away.
They've got nothing left, the Bulldogs. They've got nothing left. There is nothing left in the tank. They are on petrol fumes.
It would be a remarkable win if they can manage to grind their way to victory here. They had a 26-0 lead. It's 34-34. Cassiano. Wrapped up. Leisha to Tolman, to Reynolds, to Eastwood, and he marches him over the halfway line. Reynolds has got a good drop goal on him. He's injured though.
Tackle 3.
Okay.
Tackle 3. Greg Eastwood.
Let's be careful here, Mr. Video Referee.
Tackle 3, Greg Eastwood.
Let the players decide who wins the game.
Yeah. Nothing in that. He might have bumped him on the nose as he came in, but...
Okay, Greg, play the ball, tackle 3.
Good decision.
It's not reportable. Let's go. Come on.
Play on it is.
Times it change.
And it's with Tim Brown. Here are the Bulldogs. They've got nothing in the tank as Tolman gets the 35 out. Who will it be? We're under 3 to go. We're all locked up. Back to Mbai. He can't get the drop goal away. Kicks it. And it will go dead.
Well, that's a huge play. The ball goes dead. They get 7 tackles here to march the ball forward, which will get the Raiders in position
In the centre.
for a field goal. That is a huge play in the game, kicking that ball dead in that situation.
Yeah, it was better about getting it out over the sideline than dead. He was never really a chance of kicking a field goal. I don't even know why they looked at that.
Oh! That's about that hit on Fensom, and he gets straight back up, and there's another bursting run from Shillington. It's 34-34. 2 and a bit minutes remaining as Blake Austin tries to squirt through. Desperate defence from the Bulldogs. Wanga, inside ball. Soliola will play it just over the halfway line. There's the kick.
Why did he kick?
Well, he miscounted the tackles. He thought it was tackle 5. He didn't realise. He did not realise that they get a 7 tackle set. And I'm sure he was counting the tackles. He thought, well, that's tackle 5, when in fact it was tackle 4. And he very neatly kicked it out over the sideline, which means the Bulldogs should get last say in normal time. They could have taken 1 more. Blake Austin could have lined up for another field goal. As I said, he can kick him from 60 metres away. But the dummy half, he counted the tackles right. He just didn't realise it was a 7 tackle set. I don't know if the Bulldogs have got the energy to get themselves in kicking range though.
Let's go.
Here's the scene. We've got a minute and a half. It is 34 all.
Let's go.
Ricky Stewart and his right-hand man, Mick Crawley, on their feet on the bench.
Let's go.
Very few players left able to come back onto the field for some time now.
All the way in.
We've had wounded players everywhere. It's had everything.
Golden point. We might have to go straight to the block.
Let's go. Come on.
Renovations or whatever it's called. We might have to miss some news tonight.
Renault Rumble, of course, don't miss it tonight. Under a minute and a half to go, and we are all locked up. The Dogs, who led 26-0.
They've got no one to go forward.
Frank Pritchard tries to grind his way forward. He carries about 4 of them before he's eventually wrapped up on his own 40. Leash at a dummy half. And Sam Perritt. So they've got a couple left here as Big Sam Cassiano tries to set things up. And he flies it out the back to Tolman. It's still alive with the Bulldogs. And that's a good run from Curtis Rona. Last tackle. The Bulldogs. Under a minute to go. There's the attempt. Does it get there? Yes, it does. He's kicked it. What a Josh Reynolds moment that was.
Okay, we'll be going short.
Unbelievable.
Well, don't forget it's time off. There's still 29 seconds to go. They can't run down the clock. So the Raiders will get a chance at a short dropout. But Josh Reynolds, a low thumping kick that just gets over the crossbar.
Stay behind, guys.
Missing out on State of Origin. It's been a brilliant performance from Reynolds this afternoon in Canberra. Has he got them home? 29 seconds left. Man of the match for KFC is Josh Reynolds.
Not over yet.
Stay behind. Stay behind.
It's not over yet. Can they execute the short kick-off well? Well, he's going for the bouncing one.
Oh, and it's picked up beautifully in the slips by Pritchard. He pops it to Mbye. And Moses Mbye dives. And there's the victory. It is a Canterbury Bulldogs win. Out on their feet. 26-0. And they eventually get there, having 34 points scored against them.
Well, that is the craziest game of rugby league I have ever seen. They went for the short kick-off. Pritchard caught it, no defence. Mbye, we know how quick he is. We saw him score a scintillating try from long distance last week. And with nothing, with no petrol in the tank, with the energy reserves gone, with no one left on the bench, the Bulldogs, after leading 26-0, have scored twice in the last minute of play to secure a very, very valuable 2 competition points. 2 premiership points they weren't expected to get. They built it on the back of a blistering first 20 minutes. And you'd have to say, lucky, gutsy, last 5 minutes or so where they've managed to pull something out of the fire. That man there, Josh Reynolds, our man of the match, who had a big part. Blake Austin did all he could today for his side. Extraordinary game of football. Extraordinary. What's that? 73 points with a kick to come. That's a big afternoon's work for the scoreboard attendant. And the Raiders will be shattered after digging themselves out of a big hole, clawing their way back into the game and getting to 34 all, having the first shot at field goal to break the deadlock, only to see that evaporate and they lose the game. And we go back to that 7-tackle set from the 20-metre tap where they miscounted the tackles and decided to kick for touch rather than one more for a shot at the field goal.
Moses Mbye to add the extras. They've got the win. 41-34 is the news.